Jupiler Media's Mining Weekly is speaking to Danie Pretorius, the CEO of Master Drilling. Danie, could you elaborate when you spoke about your clients wanting mechanization and digitization? How are you going to respond to that demand from your clients?
Martin, if we just deal maybe with the first one, the mechanization part of your question. I think we're currently busy with two local first-year mining companies with specific projects to deal head-on with the mechanization, trying to figure out ways, one, to increase the speed of mining development, and two, to reduce the, what we call in mining terms, dilution of the ore mined. So we unfortunately signed some NDAs with the local companies, but we will probably report in the next period on the progress made with that. But we're a long way, especially with the one project down the line and down the road, to demonstrate and show some benefit to the industry. On the second part of your question, I believe not only in South Africa, worldwide, what we've seen is it's sometimes very difficult for yourself if you don't know what you don't know. And it's with big data nowadays, the buzzword out there, and what we saw is available today in South Africa, not abroad necessarily, but in South Africa, when we acquire and purchase AVA, or AVA what they call. I really believe there's some South African companies which we're currently eyeing and which could well be a good M&A target for ourselves to try and internationalize, use our current footprint to leverage our current footprint to take those companies abroad.
And what sort of artificial intelligence does AVA bring, and do these companies bring? How do they disrupt things?
Because the way they've set up the system, not only is the system cheaper, but the simplicity of the system and the cost effectiveness of that system, Martin, and not relying on input Wi-Fi connection. Really a nice system.
And will it take clients down the cost curve?
Absolutely, dealing with utilization and again to try and figure out how to optimize the fleets. Remember, these yellow equipment and what they're doing today, that comes with a lot of capital. So I really believe, when it comes to optimization and know what you don't know today, I absolutely think so.
And South America was the darling. Now we're swinging to Africa being the biggest contributor. Do you think that's sustainable?
Well, two answers to your question. I think the one is being probably driven by the copper price that's been down for some time, which by the way has just gone through $9,000 a ton, and probably the polymetallics in Peru. So it's probably a function of the cycle and where we are today. I'm comfortable that we probably would see the South American contribution in the short term probably back to the levels it was some time ago.
And you've got Zondereinde, Eland. Are there more platinum prospects coming up in South Africa?
Absolutely, Martin. I think the inquiries and budget pricing that's been requested from various clients in South Africa. We recently saw what Nico Miller and Impala, committed to in terms of capex spend. So I think it's early days, but I really think platinum in our lives in the short, medium term is going to be significant.
And then critical minerals, we're hearing about this and we hear ministers talk about lists of critical minerals in Canada. What sort of demand is that pool creating?
Martin, there's no real elephant that we're involved with. Up in the Arctic in Canada, we've just been awarded a Rackland project, for another 3-year project for that part of the business. But the concerning part is probably more, if you look at the world today where we have operations, the OTs of the world, and these huge, big elephants, not many around. And if you look at the capex spend today, between $6 and $7 billion, then we as a company are really concerned about the future of mining when it comes to new reserve ore body found. So we really hope that the mining spend in the exploration side of their business is going to increase.
Where are you drawing your most exploration from? I know you said Canada's got the biggest exploration budget.
Look, Martin, just back home, maybe a step back. I think the DMR and the Mineral Council are sitting on their hands, and we know the wheels in the State Department is turning very slow. But I think there's like 20 billion rands of so-called applications currently lying on some table just here, just home. If you look at the exploration spend abroad, Canada, Australia is certainly the two areas we would need to keep on the radar.
So if South Africa could just get its backlog out the way, it might present a lot of opportunity for a company like Master Drilling.
Absolutely. And I do believe, I think the FaceTime they got recently in public, in the newspapers, I really believe in the next 6 months here, we probably have a different discussion. I really hope so. I think, not only for the mining, but for unemployment in the country, will make a huge difference.
And yet you're sitting on this record order book. You've never had a better order book. So going forward, it looks like it's going to be pleasant for you.
Look, Martin, we've been bulking up, and we had a lot of criticism in the past 7-8 years, but I think we've bulked up, added probably the order of about 40-50 raceable machines to our fleet, and we were trying to protect our return on capital employed. And I think today where we are, if we can believe what we see out there, we're probably well positioned to capitalize on that. I really think so, and it's all a function of where the commodities is going to. But really, if we get all these planets to align, I think we're well positioned to capitalize on the investment made in the last 7-8 years.
That was Creamer Media speaking to Danie Pretorius, the CEO of Master Drilling.